Hello students, welcome to MKD classes. Here we read about the English literature. The main question is how can we read English literature and how many sections in your syllabus about the English literature. So here we saw about when we are talking about the English literatures. So first of all we have to show that what is the definition. What is the definition of English literature? Okay, first of all we found that what is the real definition of English literature. English literature means that any biography or autobiography of the great statue of the writer's poem and any persons. That is the main definition of English literature. Okay, dear students, you understand? Once again I repeat it. Here we saw that in the section of English literature, the great statue of any persons, okay, about his biography and autobiography is called literature. अब आपका क्या होता है इसमें आपको देखने को मिलेगा इन योर सिलेबस देयर आर फाउंड ओनली 3 सेक्शंस, प्रोज, पोएट्री and supplementary. Okay, dear students, in the class of 9 to 12th, here we saw that there are the 3 main sections, you can say streams in your English literatures. Number 1 prose, number 2 poetry, and number 3 supplementary. And there are the others 2 types of prose like fiction and non-fiction. Okay, but we have to ignore in this time because you read in 9 to 12 class, not in the level of graduation. So we have to understand about only just prose and poetry and supplementary. Okay, so then we choose only one streams. There are all streams. Okay, don't forget there are the streams forms of the English literatures. So now we are talking only about poem. Poem means poetry. Okay, when we are talking about the poetry, who is called when someone person is write a poem, then he called not writers, he called poet. Okay, but when someone write a story and the incident of great or famous story is also called writer. Okay, don't forget when someone person like write a story, then he called writer. But when someone is write a poem, then he called poet. Okay, so that is the difference between the writer and the poem, don't forget. Okay, so let's we go, and here we saw some about the poetry. When we are starting reading the any poem, okay, when we are starting the reading any poem, then we saw that in the top order of the page his title name, that is very important on this page. Okay, for example we take Test of Snow. First of all I want to say that is the famous poem of the writer, and the writer not we can't say that this is the writer, we can say that this is the poet, and the famous poet of this poem is Robert Frost. Robert Frost is the poet of this story, of this poem. Okay, and here we saw that this is the poem of the 10th class. Mostly students I think read it. Okay, yes, I know very well. Okay, so let's we go. In the top order of the page, here we saw that the title name, and his poet name, and after that you will so that you will see about the poet, and then about the poem, and after that before you read I think we have to clean it, so please wait students, don't be go. Okay students, in the top order of the page, first of all dust of snow, the title name, and after that his poet name, and after that about the poem, and next, and after next before you read. Okay, I think you understand very well. Okay, so we can carry on. Good. When we are going to the level of this, in the end of point, not in the end of point, but we can say that third of last, meanings, but not simple meanings. It will be hard, but it will be given by with the stanza of the poem. Okay students, hard meanings with the stanza of the poems, and after that, but don't forget with Hindi mean, with the Hindi mean. Okay, if you are reading in the CBSE board, then we can't saw about the Hindi meanings, but if you are reading in the UP board classes or state classes, so you will see about the Hindi meanings with the English meanings. Okay, don't forget. Okay, so first level, second level, third level, and fourth, and after the fifth and the last level of this poem is central idea. Central idea, it is very important. Yes, we can give 5 stars, of course, why not, because it is the main part, of the any exams. But don't forget, if you are reading in the 10th class, it is also very, not only this but also this is very important for you. Okay, and every exam of this year 2024, 2023, last 10 years exams, you will see that it is very important for your exams. Okay, in this section of poem, dust of snow, don't forget, it will be very important. Okay, remember. Okay, so central idea, stanza of the poem, the starting from this and the end of this is very important. Starting is also important, but it is most important. Okay, so it's about the poem. I think you understand very well what I want to say, that how can we read literatures. We can read literatures from the point wise points. Number one, about the title's name and his poet name, if we are talking about the poem, and after that about the lesson or poet, and next about the poem, and before you read, I think I mentioned, yes, yeah, I mentioned. Okay, before you read, because there are the many questions about the any chapters of the poem or central idea or the stories, and in the every section of the English literature streams, whatever, it's not matter that what is the section of the stream English literature, whatever, prose, poetry, supplementary, or we can say that autobiography or biography. So we have to learn about the before you read, because there are the many questions, so you have to understand. And after that we will going to the point of stanza of the poem. This is the meanings, and here we saw that hard meanings with the stanza, and also with the Hindi meanings if you are reading in the UP board or any other state exams. If you are reading in the CBSE board, here we can't see that the meaningful with the Hindi mean. Okay, and after that it is very important, and we can say that it is the common, we can't say that this is the importance in the CBSE board or UP board. This is the important for all board exams. Okay, so here be the news about the poem. I think you like this classes, and we will see in the next classes of the English classes, and welcome again in the next class of MKT classes 24/7. If you like it, so please subscribe, like and comment, and don't forget about the share. So see you next classes. Thank you so much.